We've all been stuck with this choice. When should we speak up and when should we stay quiet? Knowing what to do isn't easy and takes both smarts and bravery. Sometimes we really should say something, but feeling awkward or scared stops us. This was exactly what Ram, a quiet software engineer, was going through. He usually chose to stay quiet, and this held him back in many ways. It also meant that he didn't stand up against wrong things happening around him. Ram was a software engineer who had always been soft-spoken and introverted. Even as a child, he preferred reading quietly alone rather than speaking up in groups. This shy nature followed him into adulthood. While Ram was great at his job and well-liked by co-workers, his quietness held him back from opportunities. He struggled to speak up in meetings, share his opinions, or talk about his accomplishments. Ram's lack of assertiveness reached a breaking point when he was passed over for a senior engineering role. His colleague Priya got the promotion instead, even though Ram had more experience. When his manager explained the decision, he referenced Ram's poor self-advocacy and reluctance to voice ideas as factors. Ram was crushed. That night, his longtime friend James came over to console him. "It's their loss for not seeing your worth," James said. "But you do need to work on promoting yourself. Why not visit my mentor, Master Wu, at the monastery? He specializes in helping people gain confidence." Ram realized his friend was right. If he wanted opportunities, he needed to overcome his silence. After much thought, Ram booked a trip to visit Master Wu the following week. He hoped the esteemed teacher could give him guidance on finding his voice. After a long bus ride up the mountain, Ram arrived at the tranquil monastery. It was a sprawling campus of gardens, wooded trails, and simple stone brick lodgings for monks and visitors. Despite his nerves, the beauty and peacefulness of the place soothed Ram instantly. He was brought to Master Wu's living quarters, a modest room with wood-paneled walls, green tea brewing, and 2 cushions for sitting. The wise teacher welcomed Ram with a smile. His warm demeanor put Ram at ease. They sat across from each other, sipping tea. Ram began opening up about his constant struggle with silence and meekness. "I avoid speaking up, even when I have something valuable to say. I shrink from sharing my accomplishments or opinions," Ram admitted. "But this silence has really started to limit my life, both personally and professionally. I'm here hoping you can teach me how to find my voice." Master Wu listened intently, nodding with an empathetic understanding that immediately made Ram trust him. After reflecting on Ram's story, Master Wu spoke. "Silence can reflect wisdom, but not when it stems from fear or lack of confidence," he said. "You must learn to differentiate mindful silence from stifled silence and gain understanding of when to speak up courageously." Master Wu explained there are 5 situations where speaking up is critically important for personal growth and ethical living. First, you must give voice to truth and reason if you witness injustice or immorality, Master Wu said. Ram nodded, thinking back to times at work when biased or incorrect decisions were made, and he stayed silent, too uncomfortable to intervene. "Next time you see unfairness unfolding, speak objectively to redirect judgment where appropriate," Master Wu advised. "Skillful speech can prevent unethical behavior from spreading. Secondly, do not withhold your insights if sharing them could help others or prevent harm," Master Wu continued. Ram remembered multiple instances where he noticed concerning oversights at work but kept quiet, unsure if he should speak up. This reluctance to voice his perspective led to costly mistakes down the line. "Have faith in your observations," Master Wu urged. "Give voice to your knowledge, even if you question it. Your unique view may fill a critical blind spot. Thirdly, clear up misunderstandings quickly and compassionately when they arise," said Master Wu. Ram thought back to a fight with his girlfriend Priya last month, caused by a text she had interpreted incorrectly. Rather than explaining himself at the time, Ram's silence only prolonged her hurt. "Be honest yet tactful in communication," Master Wu advised. "Take the effort to articulate your intentions and dispel confusion through open dialogue. It can prevent small issues from escalating. Fourthly, Defend your boundaries if crossed, Master Wu stressed. Do not let discomfort keep you voiceless if others disrespect or take advantage of you. Ram nodded regretfully, thinking of times he didn't speak up when peers made insensitive jokes or took credit for his work. His conflict avoidance and deference had led him to be a pushover. Calmly reinforce your principles if needed, urged Master Wu. Your dignity and ethics matter. Believe this and vocally guard them. Lastly, speak even if difficult when responding to falsehoods, said Master Wu. You have a moral obligation to correct misinformation and prevent its spread. Ram felt shame remembering instances when he stayed silent in the face of family members' ignorance. He prioritized comfort over truth. With compassion, present facts to dispel fictions, Master Wu said. Rectifying falsities supersedes avoiding discomfort. Each time you speak up, you bolster wisdom and understanding. Ram left the monastery with a profoundly expanded perspective. Through Master Wu's teachings, he realized the immense power speech held not just for benefiting himself, but society. He resolved to break his silence and voice truth whenever the situation called for moral courage. As Ram descended the mountain path home, Master Wu's parting words replayed in his mind. Words can forge reality. Wield their power judiciously yet decisively. Through skillful speech, you better the world and actualize your highest self. Adjusting lifelong communication patterns proved challenging for Ram, but he started small. The next time his colleague Priya unfairly claimed credit for his work, Ram politely but firmly said, "Actually, I spearheaded that initiative. I'm happy to discuss details." When Ram's uncle began ranting about election fraud at Thanksgiving dinner, Ram compassionately interjected facts, correcting the record. Each time Ram managed to speak up for what was right, he felt more sure of himself. By practicing every day, it got easier for him to say what he thought. This not only helped him grow as a person, but also improved how he got along with others. He even got more opportunities at work. Sure, sometimes Ram would go back to being quiet when he shouldn't, but whenever that happened, he would think of Master Wu's advice and get back on track. He understood that learning to speak up was something he'd have to keep working on, but it was worth it because it helped him grow and made the world a better place too. So, if you know someone who finds it hard to speak up when they should, share Ram's inspiring story with them. With a little help, we can all learn to say what needs to be said, and by doing that, we can make things better for ourselves and everyone else.